Hey everybody, so I was thinking about making a video today. Not really thinking, I'm just actually gonna do it. It was a brief thought, but I was thinking about just talking about where I'm currently at and how I'm doing that and how you guys can too. So lately my thoughts have been dealing with the concept of trying to fit in to society or trying to be responsible by doing the things that I thought that I had to do to survive. And those were having a house and paying rent, having a full-time job or several jobs. I don't know, there are many things like that. But I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm currently unemployed and it's been almost 2 months now, really. 2 months of unemployment. I don't have a house anymore. I don't pay rent each month. And I'm going to tell you how to do this because I was always so limited by the belief that this can't happen and how in the world can people do this? And I always looked up like how to make money and all of these ridiculous things. But for me, my situation is, okay, I went to Argentina on vacation and that whole time I was unemployed, but how did I sustain that? I sustained that by working seasonally. I worked about 6 months as a nanny and housekeeper, and I took care of another lady. Like, I just did odd jobs, but for the most part nannying. So I did that and I saved enough money to pretty much be able to buy food and travel. And in that process, I quit all of my jobs. I had 3 at the time, but I slowly quit each of them. And then before I left to Argentina, I left my room, so I didn't have to pay rent for the time I was gone. So, and then I came back and I thought, I can't do that again because you burn through so much money, and it's been a week right now. And it's kind of funny because when I came back, I had this huge fear of like, get it together, because everyone was like, what are you doing? Like, where are you gonna get a house and all this stuff? But then I realized, what is it that you really want? Because I keep going to all of these places and doing all of these things, like many of you know and many of you do, to figure out what I want. And the whole time, I never really sit down and ask myself, what do you want? So I realized that what I want is pretty much to be my own boss or to work a job that can allow for creativity, or pretty much a job that makes a lot of money in a shorter amount of time. So through that, I realized, well, what do you love to do? I love to make art. And I've always wanted to start up my own business, and I always thought, oh, it's too complicated. But I never actually sat down with my free time and said, okay, where to begin? I just need to begin right now. And so whatever you're doing, decide on, what am I good at? Don't try to create something that you don't really do, you don't know how to do, because then you're just wasting your time and energy, unless you really are interested in that. But I tried making like jewelry and herbal things, which I enjoy, but I'm not, my passion isn't that. So I realized, do what you absolutely love. If you love drawing, sewing, making clothing, if you like pottery, if you like photography, focus on your main core like talent or hobby. So for me, art. And I know this is gonna suck, but I kind of just want to throw out, you guys should go follow my art Instagram. It's cosmo.visions, and I'm going to start selling prints and my originals, and I'm gonna start selling them on the streets in Vancouver. But this one's not done, but like, this is kind of my style. If you're interested, these are originals. Feel free to follow, because then you guys can start buying it soon. But anyway, so that's how I'm sustaining myself. I haven't made any money yet. It's been a lot of investment, but I'm just going to, for the meantime, make art to make money. Because first of all, I don't have to pay rent, so that's like $600 that that I don't have to think about. And really the only thing you have to focus on is food and traveling and just little things like that. But figure out a situation like living with a friend maybe in their living room or their backyard, set up a tent, or if you have a car, live in your car, because that's what I'm going to start doing in a few weeks when it warms up. Or like I said, a tent. Like you can pay someone $50 a month to set up your tent and like a whole little thing on their piece of property. There's so many options, and I know sometimes it seems really complicated because I went like several years pretty much going, it's impossible, I can't do it, to now believing that you can really do anything you want. It's honestly all about how badly you want it. People ask me, how do I do the things I do? How do I travel? I don't do this with like a large quantity of money or things like this. I usually travel very, very limited. Like when I was in Argentina, totally gypsy style, didn't really pay for any food, got free food from grocery stores, got a really cheap airplane ticket. Like pretty much anyone who wants to do this can probably do it. You just have to prepare for it and put your heart to it. So anyways, off topic. But yeah, you can honestly fulfill any dream you want if you exert all of your energy and you totally believe that you can do it. So I know my circumstances like for living are very special and rare because my brother is like letting me live with him right now, so I have a place to stay because it's rainy and cold. But like I said, once that sun comes out, I'm going to be living in my car, and eventually when it gets really warm, I'm going to be camping places. So that takes care of your living situation. Now it's just food, and the food option is either, this is kind of crappy, but you can either relatives, family, they usually feed you, or I would never do this, but I feel like this would be in the mind of someone else. Go on a lot of dates and maybe that person will pay for you. That's really terrible and I would never do that, but or a big thing is go to grocery stores and say, hey, are you receptive to giving me your food that you're about to throw away? And don't go to places like Walmart and Safeway. Go to places that are family owned, smaller, like mom and pop grocery stores. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a box of free veggies and fruit. And especially if you're vegan, it's so easy to do. Like living off of fruit and veggies is the cheapest way to live. So there you go. Okay, so anyways, right now, like I said, I've been doing my art business and I will be moving in my car soon, and it's so funny that now that I'm actually allowing myself to believe that I can do this, so many doors have been opening up. It's hilarious. Both of my bosses before I came back pretty much begged me to start working for them again. And it's funny because like I totally I'm not worried about the money as much anymore, and so that's when the doors opened, when I was like, it'll be taken care of. And I actually did reject both of my bosses because I know that yes, it makes a lot of money, but I'm ready to be self-sustained and do something I really love, because I feel like a lot of us get trapped into this idea of we have to make this amount of money, we have to have a high-paying job, it has to come in every week or every month. And I feel like we really do limit ourselves, because if you do want to live minimally, you don't have to make such a high income, you know, it can be proportionate. If you want to be a person that goes out to shows every weekend, in the bar every weekend, and spends a lot of money, yes, it's reasonable, go get a freaking full-time job, like, but if you're not interested in doing any of that, you can live off of a very small amount of money each month. And what else do I want to share? Oh, also, someone commented on my video, and it's great because I've done something like this. It's what is it called? I forgot. It's like a work trade thing, website. I did woofing. So you don't even have to make money. If you have saved income or even nothing, you can go to a farm or just pretty much any place that they want you to work for free. I did this 2 times in my life. Woofing, like I said, it's awesome, but you have to pay $40 to have an account, which kind of sucks. But I went to Northern California like a few years ago to work on a permaculture farm. I got housed and fed, and it was really awesome. And the concept was awesome. The family, they're from Israel, so their customs were very different, and I didn't really enjoy what they had me doing because they had me working way too much, like probably 8 or 9 hours a day. And I was a nanny for their kids, and they were going through divorce issues, so it didn't go too well. But my brother picked me up in California. But I'm not saying all woofing experiences are bad, and it's totally safe. These people like are monitored on their accounts, and they pretty much have to prove they're legitimate and everything. And I didn't work with anyone else, but there was a farm right next door, and I met so many cool people, and I've heard so many people also meeting amazing individuals from all across the world with woofing. And woofing is usually agriculture, permaculture, gardening stuff. So if you're interested in that, go look up woofing. Also, I went to China last year for 6 months as an English teacher, and it was also work trade. I didn't get paid because I don't have a bachelor's degree, but I got fed and housed, and it was the most amazing thing ever, honestly. And you can pretty much, like, China is the country, or at least Southeast Asia are the countries to do that with. But I'm sure if you're also interested in getting paid that you don't have to have a bachelor's degree. It was just my program. It was set up with my school. But yeah, so that took care of me for 6 months, and that seems to be my life, like either work trade or working seasonally. And then now my next plan is to again work seasonally, which I mean like less than a season. So I'm going to be, like I said, working on selling art, and I've had a lot of discussions with really close friends of mine. And when the season is right, I will be either fruit picking, which makes a ton of money, especially in British Columbia up north, or I'm going to be trimming either in Northern California or here in Canada, but I'm not sure yet. It's honestly such a good option if you want to work like really hard for a short amount of time and make a couple of grand. And what I mean by a couple of grand is some people in 2 months make like $10,000. So there's always that option. And honestly, you don't have to even smoke pot either to do a job like that, because I don't really smoke that much anymore. And I know a lot of people who don't, and they still go trimming. It's really good opportunity. Again, you meet a lot of interesting people from all over the world. So there's that option, and I don't really know what this video's turned out to be, but I feel like that's all I have to share right now. So I hope you guys all go out and start doing things that you enjoy so you're not miserable and you don't get caught in this rat race and this idea of thinking that you have to do something to survive. There are so many options. You have to allow yourself the time and the space to organize and be open to these things, because they will appear if you're ready for it. And if you keep saying, no, it's impossible, yeah, then you're probably creating that reality of it just not working out for you. But yeah, stay open-minded. And another side to that is, if it's not opening up in the way that you want, maybe it's not the time, because here I am 5 years later, finally starting to do what I want. And now I reflect back on the past of me trying to do those things and it not working out as being a blessing. I wasn't ready. I needed to experience a lot more in the normal reality of a working class hero, as John Lennon would say. But yes, be in tune with yourself and respect the way things go, because in the end, it's all gonna work out regardless of what you do. So thanks for watching. I'll probably make another video in about a second.